Hey y'all, I'm going to be making a journal out of this Reader's Digest cover that was falling apart. It was pretty ratty. The spine is pretty fragile. I took the pages out, the page block out. So now I'm going to work on cleaning up the edges and repurposing this cover. I will be using 2 different digital printable paper kits from Tailor Made Journals over on Etsy for the pages in this journal. The names of those kits are her Cherry Blossoms Junk Journal kit and her kit that's called Mysteries of the Orient. I'm going to take some Eileen's tacky glue and repair these corners. Get some of the loose papers glued back down along the edges. Just do some little repair work. I have cut a new spine to the size that I want out of an additional book board that I had left from another project. You can see that on the right side of the screen. And I have some skewers that I'm going to use for the spacing in between the original boards and the spine. And I have some cloth tape that I get from the first aid section in my grocery store. And I'm going to tape these pieces together. I'm working on the inside of the cover here. I'll fold that tape over, take my scoring tool. You could use a bone folder. You could use those skewers. I'm pushing that tape down into those cracks so that the spacing holds. And then I will add tape also to this side and push that tape down into the spacing in between the spine and the cover. And then I'll check to make sure that the book folds well and holds well before I continue on. I've chosen a strip of fabric to cover the spine with, and I will glue that on with my Eileen's tacky glue here. And I will also press that down into the spacing along the spine. I was off a little bit and I had to readjust. And you'll notice that I spread that glue out a little bit so that it doesn't seep through my fabric. And then I'm going to tear my fabric to the length that I need it. go ahead and get that glued down. Now I am putting extra glue down into those spacings so that when I use my tool and press that fabric in there, it holds in that space. And it doesn't lift out when I bend the book or when I fold the book cover. Okay, now I'll check my fold, make sure everything's going to hold well, everything's smooth and stays in place. Okay, it's good. Now I'm going to work on the inside of the cover. I have these really pretty pages from one of the kits that I'm going to use to cover the inside. And then these pieces were actually large envelopes that I printed from one of the kits, and I cut them down to make little pockets for each side of the cover. Then I chose another page from the kit and I printed it in a smaller size. And I'm going to cut this apart and use this to make toppers for the front and back covers on the outside of the journal. She is absolutely beautiful. So she's going to go on the front, and then the koi image will go on the back. And here I have glued these pages on and glued the pockets in. And I'm going to work on the toppers now. I've decided to frame each one of the images with a piece from the kits. So I just have a piece of cut off cardstock from another project. I have a whole stack of this stuff and I just use it up as I need it. It's cut 1/4 of an inch larger than the image that I'm going to place on top so that I get a little frame in the end. I'm using the cardstock because I just want the toppers on the front and back covers to be a little bit sturdier, because I'm going to be adding some things to them that are a little bit more dimensional. Okay, I'm happy with her, and I'm going to take the koi and do the exact same thing. Just gluing this piece onto the other piece to make another framed image. So this is my process, y'all. Thanks for watching. I should be posting another video on this journal within the next few days, but I do have quite a bit of stuff going on in my personal life. So I'm making no promises, but just watch my pages, and I hope to be back soon.